Grüezi miteinander, Gregory from Livechat here. Guys, thank you so much for joining this live stream. It's been a while. We're doing something new. I'm always trying something new. And I'm really grateful and appreciative that you guys are showing up. We don't want to waste no time. We want to jump right into it. And before we get started, guys, very important, this is the sponsor of this video. Maybe some of you have already heard it. I want to talk about it briefly before we jump into the reaction of what I think about Mark Wildman and his kettlebell endeavors. And this is 90 Days of Kettlebells. Guys, this is one of our... This course is going off right now. We are almost, I think, at 100 sold courses. I think it's like 80 or 90 courses. I think we are finding some new ground. We have put our finger into the hornet's nest. People are really digging that stuff that we do. And what is 90 Days of Kettlebells? I want to make it quick, but it is the sponsor of this awesome YouTube video. So guys, check this out. Now, what is 90 Days of Kettlebells? 90 Days of Kettlebells is completely in the English language. And it is a kettlebell workout program that combines kettlebell training with simple and easy to follow nutrition coaching. Now, this is what we do in real life. You guys that are following us on YouTube, you see the kettlebell stuff. And the kettlebell stuff is what we do in real life as well. We are really drilling down and honing in on this beautiful and powerful tool. And I think it's one of the greatest tools ever invented. And I just love working out with it. And we share our passion, knowledge, and love with our clients as well. So that's what we do in reality as well. But what is not so much shared on YouTube, because I want to stick to this niche of kettlebells, is the part of nutrition and weight loss, because that's what a lot of people visit us and they do intensive coaching with us, and we help them lose weight with some easy to follow nutrition coaching, building powerful habits, and with the power of kettlebell training. We have recently just finished with a mother, and she's so happy that she can go home, or after our intense coaching session with 3 trainings per week, she can now work out at home with the kettlebell. And y'all guys, you all know how powerful the kettlebell is. At least since 2020, we have realized one of these powerful benefits and factors that makes us come together and share the love of kettlebells. So that's what we do in real life in our coaching, in our studio. And this is what we base our experience and knowledge on. And we have packaged this knowledge into a dense, intensive course. And that is 90 Days of Kettlebells. Now, the weight loss and the kettlebell training is combined in there. But you can also benefit from the basics that we teach you in this course as well, because the course takes you on a ride for 3 months. In the first month, you will do these kind of workouts that we do with our beginners as well. Some very easy to follow coaching and training, not very advanced stuff. And then we slowly progress from there for 3 months. And as you can see, we have 120 plus lessons in the course. I'm going to build upon it. You have continuous support. You have free updates. And as you can see, when you check it down, check out what is read in chapter 7 and chapter 8 is the Kettle Nights podcast. Maybe you guys are familiar with it. We are having great conversations with great people, and guys, I'm having some awesome guests coming up. You won't believe it, and you'll be happy to see them on our channel. And we have some interesting topics that we are covering, and I'm learning incredibly so much from these guys. I know these videos, these podcasts don't do very well on YouTube, but I don't care about it, because this is where I draw a lot of knowledge, and this is where the hardcore part of our subscriber base is really drawing out knowledge and passion as well. So the Kettle Nights podcast, every time there's a new podcast going live on YouTube, there's always a premiere if you've been watching our content. Then the 90 Days of Kettlebells crowd, they got it already. It's already in there. They can watch it for free, no additional charge, and you can watch it without any ad breaks. You can download the audio file so you can listen to it on mobile and work out the workout library. Guys, if you have been watching our content recently, maybe you're already familiar with the idea that we stream once per week with our live workouts, where we really go all in with the kettlebell. And this is, I believe, how we're supposed to use this awesome tool. Doesn't mean that I'm the only one who knows how to use it, of course not, but I believe this is one of the powerful ways to engage in kettlebell training, and this is our training system. And every time these workouts go live and they're done, they're automatically transferred into 90 Days of Kettlebells. So the crowd of 90 Days of Kettlebells, they get everything first. Now, It costs 97 Swiss francs. That's 105 US dollars. But when I'm live, I did this the last time we had a Q&A, you get 10% off, guys. 10% off. So that means it's 87.3 Swiss francs. That's about 94.5 US dollars. And check this out, guys. You gotta use the link in the description. It's not in the description, actually. You can see the link in the chat. You gotta check the chat right now. This is where you find the link with the coupon attached. I'm not really sure if I put it in the description. Maybe I messed this one up. But you find the link in the live chat. And it's only valid as long as I am live. So if you have been thinking about, pondering about using this course and following a workout structure and a program, then this is your chance. You have 10% off. As long as I'm live, you can use this code now. Go ahead and do it. So now, and what happens is, oh, I forgot it. What happens is when you decide to click on that link, you get step one, you got to create an account with our e-learning platform, because this e-learning platform is so powerful. You can come to it whenever you want. You have you have access your whole lifetime. It doesn't disappear after 90 days. You stick with it. The access is granted. So then you can create your account. And step two is you can pay the amount via credit card or via PayPal when you want to complete your purchase. So that's how we do it. So guys, again, thank you very much for joining. Let's jump into the reaction right now. But before, you know, we have a lot of many words from our sponsors, guys, but we got to check out this sponsor as well. He sponsored this content as well, and I really like him. I don't know his name, but his friend's name is Igor.
Stravo. My name is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsor today's video of Livechat. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Livechat YouTube channel. Or else, we can consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
So guys, you heard what he said. You gotta like and subscribe to you gotta like the video and subscribe to the channel. I gotta say right, or else he beats me up. Okay, guys, let's jump into it. You ready? I'm really enjoying this, and please be aware I'm not paying any attention to the live chat right now because I want to stay focused as possible, because I want to deliver as much value as possible, and then we're gonna check out the Q&A at the end. We will follow on one of these slides. Now, why am I doing this reaction? What is the reason to react to Mark Wildman, who is the most popular kettlebell channel on YouTube right now? I think he got 150,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I congratulate him for it. I know what kind of grind it is to build a subscriber base and to be on YouTube, to create these videos, edit these videos, punch them out. It's just a grind. It's a hustle. And I always have respect for fellow creators who are grinding and putting their stuff out there. So the reason is it has been requested so many times. I've seen his name so many times that I thought, okay, I have to follow suit. So I did it now. So I'm doing it right now. And the reason for this live format is I was just thinking, first of all, I want to try something new. That's reason number one. And reason number two is I want to take my time, and maybe if you guys are lit in the chat and you have some questions, or you even have some insights and inputs, for those of you who are followers of his channel and maybe even know more than I do right now, please let me know. I want to have a conversation, and I think he deserves it because, like I said, one of the biggest channels out there, and we share a huge subscriber base. So I want to deliver value and respect his work and give credit where credit is due, and take my time for it. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. But before, let me give you some little Livechat trivia. This is the most disliked video in Livechat history, and I'm still laughing when I look at it. As you can see, it sits at 145. It's even better now. It sits at 145 likes and 242 dislikes. So the most disliked video. So that was the first video, one of the first reactions next to the Joe Rogan one. Many of you probably have discovered Livechat or what I do through the Joe Rogan reaction, but this was one of the, I think it was the second or something. And then it says kettlebell coach reacting to Jack Black getting jacked with kettlebells. I actually like that title. And then I didn't think anything about it because I didn't know Mark Wildman at the time. You have to imagine I was doing, we have 800 plus videos on this channel. And I think I've done half of it or even more, 500 videos? Well, that's nuts. I think I got to stop saying the word nuts, man. Remind me of this, guys, please. I've done 500 videos in German, and Mark Wildman wasn't on my radar. So then when I started doing English stuff, of course, I was checking out who's doing kettlebell content, and then I found out that it's Mark Wildman. But only after the fact, I found out that this video was incredibly disliked. And I didn't understand it at first. I was like, wow, the video gained some traction. It sits at 7,500 views. And I was like, whoa, that's not bad for our means. And then I checked it out. I was like, ooh, what's going on in the comment section? What's going on with the dislikes? What's up? So I rewatched the video, and I was like, maybe I was completely disrespectful. Maybe, and that sometimes happens, guys. Maybe I say a word, a particular word. Maybe I laugh. Maybe I give you some sort of emotional expression in my face, and people take it the wrong way. That's something that I cannot influence. People have been telling me that I have ulterior motives, that I want to break these folks down. That's why I'm reacting to it. I want to destroy these coaches' careers and all that kind of stuff. So people attribute any kind of attitude to what I am doing, and I cannot influence it. What I can influence is improve my delivery, become better at it, be better with the editing, better with the filming, better with my articulation, and that takes some time, guys. So I rewatched it and I was like, no, I can't see it. Maybe I said something a little bit funny, but sometimes, YouTube wants some entertainment. YouTube wants funny stuff. So I was like, maybe I said something funny, but people don't like it. And then I realized, I was like, wow, maybe some of it is tribalism. And let me tell you, this is the Wikipedia description, what tribalism is. And I've encountered this now multiple times. Now, tribalism is the state of being organized by or advocating for tribes or tribal lifestyles. Human evolution has primarily occurred in small hunter-gatherer groups, as opposed to in larger and more recently settled agricultural societies or civilizations. With a negative connotation and in a political context, tribalism can also mean discriminatory behavior or attitudes towards out groups based on in-group loyalty. So I was the out group attacking the in-group, the followers of Mark Wildman, or at least they were thinking that, and that's why I got some of these comments, when in reality I wanted to react to Jack Black, because when a celebrity picks up a kettlebell, I've studied a lot of stuff on YouTube, and one of the YouTube advocates to be in the loop and maybe share something that has news when it's in your niche. And when I found out that a celebrity like Jack Black picks up kettlebells, I thought, wow, let's do a reaction to it. So these are some of the comments. And now, please, guys, don't misunderstand this as me looking for compassion, or that I feel sad, or that I feel bad about it. Now I want you to feel good about me or for me. It has nothing to do with that, because I have realized we have now risen to almost 23,000 subscribers, which is not a huge subscriber base, but I think we have gotten, the last ones was 650,000 views. It was crazy what was going down with some of these reactions. Really picked up some steam. And so somebody told me once, listen, if you start succeeding in whatever you do, the higher you go, the more wind resistance blows. So that's what's happening. The higher you go, the more, planes get shaken around because they're in that high altitude. So that's what's happening. So let's check out some of these comments. The first guy said, here goes, just quit your job. Stop. I got to laugh when I watch him now. Stop doing videos. You're doing more harm than good. The people you coach are better off binge watching Netflix on their couch and eating ice cream than destroying their bodies training with you. Let Mark and Satsuline do it. They know it better. You owe me what you charge for a 2 weeks intensive training program and a thank you. And this guy actually came back to the channel over and over again, and he even asked a question that I gladly answered. And then after that, he came back again, and this was one of those rare moments where I felt like this dude is trolling, or he's just spewing hate in the comment section. And I remember Nick Strength and Power, one of his videos, which have gotten not a lot of views, but maybe you're familiar with him. He's the bodybuilding channel. Nick is a cool dude. And he said, man, if these negative folks are showing up, these trolls who just want to destroy your comment section, you got to tell them and maybe block them. So I had to tell this dude, I was like, listen, you better stop now or you're getting blocked. So then Gray said, why would you compare yourself to another YouTuber? That's always what people believe. It's like, I'm comparing myself to Mark. Or I'm comparing myself to Jillian Michaels, comparing myself to name whoever we want, Pavel or whatever. Mark Wildman is the man. You should be learning from him, not piggybacking off his videos. You come across as a this is in poor taste, not a good way to build a following. And these last two comments from Ten Gonzalez and Scotland Zeef, I've gotten these comments on the Caroline Girvan video. I've reacted to Caroline Girvan, which is a popular influencer, to her kettlebell workout, and man, these comments there, some of these are even worse. Somebody even said, I think I remember said, you should be on a slow boat off to China. And she said, it's sad that you got to critique one of the most popular trainers. And this guy, Scotland Thief, even said, check this out, it seems you particularly like to come after women trainers. So he wanted to hijack my critique into an attack on women. And that's what's happening on YouTube. Now, like I said, I don't want you to feel bad for me. I realize that this is happening, but this does not stop me from giving respectful feedback that I believe is respectful, and maybe adding some entertainment value in it. And sometimes I'm like, if you have seen some other channels that are doing reactions or commentary channels, they're sometimes really, they go all in, they hold no punches. So, but that's what it is. Just a small detour. Now, what I want to put this reaction into is two parts. We have the first part is where I agree with what Mark does, and guys, he's doing great stuff. I agree on a lot of things, and we are on the same page. And then I have that part where I disagree with him. Now, what is the big picture that I really want you guys to understand is, no matter whether I agree or disagree, I do not want any one of you to become a blind follower and just swallow everything that I say, take it for granted, and say, well, Gregory said it, or Lebe said it, or whatever. Please do not do this. What I'm giving you is just some data, just some snapshots of my knowledge and experience. I'm handing it over to you. And what you can do with it is build your own opinion, an informed opinion. That's what I'm trying to serve you. I don't want people to elevate me to a level where I'm not able to make no mistakes anymore, because this is a world without criticism, and that's a dangerous world. We see a lot of people who live in these kinds of spheres, and I don't want to be in there. And then we have a Q&A at the end if you guys have any inputs or valuable feedback to share. So let's jump into it. These are the videos that I checked out, because that was one of the critiques that I got. It was like, man, you got to watch some more videos of him. And I even watched some more stuff, and I've actually learned some stuff from it, which is very cool. That's what I'm always open to learn, guys. You have to understand, I don't consider myself, maybe it comes across sometimes like this in these reactions, but maybe if you watch some of our podcasts, you can see that I'm like a sponge. I'm learning from Fitbrit, Brittany van Schravendijk. I'm learning from Dan John. I'm learning from Dennis Vazilev. I'm learning from Luka Kurchev, from all these great folks who are sharing their knowledge with me. And even from Mark, just watching his videos, I learned some stuff on the club bell, which I think is awesome. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the club bell as well, because that's one of the questions that I'll always get in the comments as well. So just some small feedback. So these are the videos that I have watched. So let's check out the first agreement that I have. Mark and I, we are both celebrating kettlebells. Let's repeat that. Mark and I, we are both celebrating the power of the kettlebell. That's what we both do. And 2020 has shown us that the kettlebell is one of the most versatile tools ever, come hell or high water. And when I watch his videos, I see that he has some sort of passion in there. They also attribute him some dry humor. I think me and him, we're complete opposites, character-wise. Because when I see him, he has dry humor. He's very, very focused, very calm, very reserved, and I'm explosive. Not always, but when I'm on camera and even in the coaching sessions, you should hear me. I love it. I burn, but that's probably because that's my mentality, that's my upbringing, that's my culture. So nothing wrong with that. But I see that he has some sort of passion for what he does, like I have in a different sense, and that should be celebrated. And I love that he is pushing and motivating folks to pick up kettlebells and use them the right way because they are so incredibly powerful. Number 2, I love his lifting etiquette, and I have just finished filming a video where it's all about lifting etiquette. How to pick up a kettlebell from the floor, how to pick up a kettlebell for the CrossFit grip, how to pick up a kettlebell for the goblet grip, how to clean a kettlebell in the hook grip, how to bring it into overhead top fixation, how to bring it back safely and drop it from the top fixation into the rack position, how to put it down from the rack into the bottom, how to work some transitions and be safe, just safety measures. And in this video, in the hand-to-hand kettlebell swing, he talked about it. He said, a little distracted there. He said in that video, where most people get it wrong or where they hurt themselves is when they put the weight down. And I was watching this and I was like, 100%. 100%. Lifting etiquette means I safely pick up the weight. I not only safely work out with it, I also make sure that I'm very cautious when I put it down. And he said people put it down because they're in fighter mode. So I see this as well. When people are all in, neurons are firing, and then it's like, oh, the break is coming, and then boom, you got a 20 kilo in your arm, and then you drop it like the hunchback from Notre Dame. This is what causes microtrauma to your spine, and Dr. Stuart McGill would be jumping up and down if he would see your form, right? So how important is it, lifting etiquette? And he inspired me to do this video because somebody commented this. I watched this video. I was like, I gotta do it. It's like a 15-minute video, a lot of information on safety measures. Number 3, he has solid technique. And as you can see, in most cases, you will see where I have some of my quarrels in the disagreement section. And solid technique means to me, I have seen some of these workouts now. I've seen some of these while I was doing these reactions. And what he is not doing, what I have to commemorate, commemorate is the right word, I think. What I have to commemorate him for, and what I think is awesome, is he doesn't do these functional exercises, which Dan John would coin supplemental. And check out, I want to insert what Dan John told me. This is such a revelation. He said he heard a reviewer, or he watched a review of a movie, and he said the reviewer said the following, which he thinks is very powerful. A problem arises, I'm paraphrasing a little bit. The problem arises when you take a new idea and make it central instead of a supplement. You got to digest this. Let me say it again. A problem arises when you take a new idea and make it central instead of a supplement. So that's what Mark doesn't do. He doesn't do these funny exercises. I see him do Turkish get-ups, cleans, press, snatch, swings, all that good stuff. And mobility is great. The mobility that he is pushing is awesome, and I really like it. I really enjoy it. Now, what he also said, I think it's this video. I can't remember whether it was this video, but he said you got to train with a system, and I agree 100%. What I saw when I was working as a fitness instructor back in a commercial gym, what I saw was that people were training and working out randomly. Let me check for a second. Always got to make sure that the system is working. Yes, it is working. Awesome. So randomly training and lifting is a problem because you never get anywhere. But let me say this, at least you're moving. At least you move your body. I always want to see the big picture. At least you move and exercise. But if you move and exercise without a system, it's like I want to go to Zurich, I want to go to New York City, but I'm not using a map. But hey, at least I'm going, I'm walking, you can see me walking or you can see me driving. Well, that's good, but you need a map because otherwise you'll end up out of nowhere if you ever end up there. So that's what training with the system does, and recording the system, writing down the weights, being careful with it, being diligent with it. This is what a powerful system will give you. And I quote Dennis Vasilev here where he said, when I failed at a championship, at a kettlebell championship, I'm always going back over the books to see where I failed. And then I see my numbers, and sometimes I go, ooh, I missed it there, Ooh, I gotta adjust something. So that's what a system does, and he advocates to train with the system, which is awesome. Number 5, club bells are great supplementals for kettlebells. We already talked about this, right? That you have to use a new idea, use it as a supplement and not as a central part of your training. Now, this doesn't mean that you cannot use club bells as a central part of your training. However, some of the club bells channel that I have watched are telling or are saying, I use the kettlebell most of the time, but the club bell offers some incredible benefits. And I actually tried this exercise. He was doing a cast or a mill with a heavier club. Unfortunately, I don't have a heavy club. I just have 4-kilogram clubs. But I tried it and I felt it because I'm working now with the single hand casts and both casts. And what club bells, just a small feedback on club bells. I am not as experienced as Mark is. I can tell you that right away. My expertise is on kettlebells. I'm not as qualified to talk about club bells as probably Mark is. I didn't go down the club bell route of Mark very intensively, but I believe he knows his stuff because I watched the video and I found it very interesting and learned some stuff from it. So what club bells do is, I think, one factor that you can use in your workout. And you have to imagine when it comes to training. Let me charge that phone so I can use it as the Q&A afterwards. And let me check if the system is running, because guys, let me tell you, you don't want to fail the system, man. Is it running? Yes, it's running. All right, man. If I don't see the stream in front of me, I always get nervous. Because these technical difficulties that we have encountered, man, let me tell you, you go crazy and you go mad when these technical difficulties happen. So God is gracious right now with me, so we keep punching. So I've lost my train of thought. No, I'm still there with my train of thought. So what club bells offer, you have to imagine, if you are familiar with the planes of motion, then we have 3 planes of motion. We have the sagittal plane. This is where movement happens right here, right? This is where most kettlebell work is done. Clean, press, snatch, long. Most of it. And people have already also asked me about my opinion on circular cleans. I'm not a fan of them, but I don't want to make this reaction too long. I don't want to deviate too much. It's going to be a separate video. Now, what club bells do, and the second plane of motion, I got to keep my train of thought. The second plane of motion is the transverse. This is where you start rotating. And the kettlebell offers great tools for that. It's the Turkish kettlebell and the windmill, the bent press. This is where you're rotating, and you got to do it safely, guys. And then the third plane of motion, I believe there's only one proper exercise, in my opinion, that you can use with the kettlebell in the frontal plane. Frontal, this is where you move like this. And you can imagine having a kettlebell outside there. If you're not juggling or doing these circular or side swings, then you're never out there. I think having a kettlebell out there that much distance to your center of mass with your weakest muscles, I believe it has a high injury risk. And club bells are in that frontal plane of motion. So you do a lot of stuff. I believe one of the greatest benefits are rotator cuff health and strength and shoulder work. That's what the club bells provide you with. And this is where you move in the frontal plane. And the kettlebell offers, I think, one exercise in the frontal plane that I think is valuable, and that is the scapular plane press or the scaption press. Scaption, I gotta remember it. It says scapular elevation. Yeah, scapular elevation. I think that's called scaption. I just read it, scaption, but man, I think it's three words. But the scapular plane press is where you move and press the kettlebell according to how the scapula wants to move, and then you go outside using your body as a lever, some sort of a scale, then you press it up and you come in. That's where you move in the frontal plane. And club bells offer this as well. So now what he also does, what I see a lot of coaches don't do, is he differentiates the styles. How awesome is that? He differentiates the styles. And we see many coaches who don't do this. especially these metabolic coaches or these total fitness DVD coaches like Paul Katami and other folks, they don't make the differentiation. Maybe they know about it, but they don't share it with their viewers. And when I see their execution, how they do the exercise, that's one of the good things when you have studied kettlebells and you go into it, you immediately see the train of thought of the guy or the gal that is exercising. I immediately see either hardstyle, kettlebell sport, or like Fit Brit and I are coining that term, and we got to push this term, the hybrid methodology. You have to see it. If I don't see it, the other thing that I can say is maybe where some of the hybrids are, where you don't have a 100% proper distinction, is on it. And on it are still, I think they have their own vibe to kettlebell training. But other than that, I see folks lifting with kettlebells who don't have a train of thought. Now, does that mean that they have to use that train of thought? No, doesn't mean. But like Dan John said, what I really love about him, he said, just because we can do it doesn't mean we should do it. So to me, that means I want to follow the authority of kettlebell training. And that is either Strong First, RKC, or the kettlebell sport world, and then mix my own, and then maybe dive and jump into the hybrid world. So I'm saying a bit messy. You will see it in the disagreement sector, where I see that there's some things where I disagree with, and it's minor stuff. Some of the stuff is a little bit bigger, but some of the stuff that I disagree with is minor. Then number seven, what I love about Mark is, and I want to circle back to this video, is he has experience with real people. That's why he said it. I see when people are lifting, dropping the weights, this is what happens. They hurt themselves because they're all in, they're burning, and boom, something happens on the way down or on the way up even. That's something that an online coach does not see. He doesn't, or she doesn't get the experience. If you're just standing in front of your computer, you see all these spreadsheets, these names and these images, and then you send them workouts or nutrition plans or whatever. You don't see it if you're only online. You only see this with real people. And as a small side note, I think the most qualified coaches are the ones who work with people and who are online. I think these are two big pieces of the puzzle. If some of you are coaches who are listening right now, I think these are the two distinctive pillars that makes a great coach. He's online, very strong, and with people. If you only have one, if you only work with people, there's one downside. You're always your own limit. Or you have to start getting employees, which I don't want because it's a hassle. And if you're only online, you miss out on the valuable experience that you get with group coaching or one-on-one coaching. So hats off to people who have experience with real people, because some of these folks that are online obviously don't have it. Now this, I have to commemorate him and congratulate him again for this. Check this video. 2.3 million views. For a kettlebell channel, this is massive. And this is what everyone wants, guys. I know, yeah, we do this for passion, but guys, like I said, I've invested 800 plus videos. I want to have a harvest as well. Of course I want it. And I want to see this, that something's coming back. I don't do this for nothing. I love to share it. It's my passion, but I also have a economic side of things that has to pay the bills and stuff. So this is, you can put this video, when I'm talking from a YouTuber's content creator's perspective, this video is like a #1 hit in the music industry. And I bet you that Mark did not expect this video to take off. This does not take anything away from the quality of the video, but I believe that he didn't expect it because the YouTube algorithm works like magic. You don't know how it works. Let me tell you. This Jillian Michaels reaction that is now almost at 300,000 views, I didn't expect this to take off like this. And just 2 or 3 videos earlier, I was doing a tutorial about back pain. I've invested, I think, 2 full days of work in that video. And then I'm sitting down, reacting to a funny looking workout, having some fun with it. The editing process takes me like an hour or something. And then this video shoots to the moon. So we cannot Nobody can tell you that this is going to be a viral video. Yes, you can have some viral content, but still, the algorithm decides for itself. So I do commemorate him for it. It's awesome that he got this. So what he shares in this video is a neck drill that we are incorporating every day with our clients. We do it every day, guys. Every day. And this is the neck up and down. This is neck side to side. And this is neck front and in. Pushing it forward, pulling it in. We do this drill every day with our clients. And this is what he shows. And he's exactly right. He called this the iPhone drill. And please, guys, you got to watch this video and use that drill for yourself. Because we are hanging around like this. So we need some mobility and some strength, of course. And even when you work, this is something that I got from Luca, how I found that I was always, when I was in the top position, I was like this, like a giraffe. So I found out, well, Luca told me, bro, your neck's sticking out, pull it back. Okay, double chin. Double chin. So that's, I'm always having Luca's words in my mind when I'm doing, for example, a hard style swing. It's like double chin. And that's awesome, man. Number 9, a sign of a very good coach is he trains barefoot. So he knows what proprioception means. So he knows those shoes with those thick soles. I am wearing them right now. Check them out. Showing you my dirty shoes on camera live, right? These on-cloud shoes are awesome for walking, but they're bad for lifting. Let me tell you, you don't want to have these big soles because they will warp your proprioception. They will warp your body's perception of the floor that is beneath you. And it won't allow you to lift heavy. Doesn't mean that you're not able to use those weightlifting shoes, because weightlifting shoes have that elevated heel that gives you some improved ankle mobility. That's another game. That's another topic. But training barefoot for most people is the greatest thing that you can do, which I really love. And that's something, guys, that's on a personal note. I have a huge heart and I have a lot of love for people who have dogs. I don't know about you guys, and I don't care whether it's cats. Even though cats, cats sometimes I'm like, man, cats, they do what they want. And what I love about the dog is our Gypsy, our dog, our Staffy. He's he's social. He wants to spend throughout the whole day, he wants to spend as much time with you. So he lays on you, he's laying next to you. And when I see pictures like this really touches my heart. And let me tell you, just as a side note, I hated watching I Am Legend. I hated that movie for it. And maybe you're one of these people. If people die in movies, well, that's one thing. But if dogs die in movies, I can't watch it. And then I hate the movie. So I really love it that he has a dog. That's a very beautiful thing, guys. Very beautiful. So now and look at who's coming. Gypsy heard that I was talking about him, right, boy? Good boy. So now before we jump into the disagreements, I want to take a short break, and then I'll be right back. So here we are back again.
Stravo. My name is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsor today's video of Livechat. In the back, you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Livechat YouTube channel. Or else, we can't consider you to be a true student of art of kettlebell training.
Oh my God, that's what happens when you say a word and then my sponsor comes up like, shut up! I gotta have a word with you. All right, guys, so here we are. Let's check out if we're still live. We have a lot of people showing up right now. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And wow, it's this awesome, guys, that you guys are choosing to spend your time with me. I really, really appreciate it. So let's keep digging. Let's jump into the disagreements. And before we get started, guys, please, I want to say this again because I know many people will take it the wrong way. This video is supposed to be educational. I want to serve you my experience, my feedback, my passion for kettlebells, the way I see it. Now, like I mentioned before, this is going to be a snapshot of my momentary knowledge that I have on kettlebells. Maybe in 1 year, 2 years down the line, I'm seeing it differently. So if people hold me to that standard that they're saying, well, 2 years ago you said this. Well, if I have changed my mind, I'm always open and willing to change my mind. So just because I disagree with some stuff that Mark is doing does not mean that I'm on the better side or that Mark is on the better side. You just have two guys who love what they do disagree with each other. And I know we live in a day and age where this almost seems impossible, that people can respectfully disagree. But if you want to see an example of this, you got to watch the video of Russell Brand and Ben Shapiro, how they respectfully disagree. And by the way, Russell Brand, the way he articulates himself is on another level. So let's check this out. Number one, he calls himself a celebrity trainer. Now, why do I not like this title? I don't like this title because, first of all, in the coaching world, it is somehow a little bit frowned upon if you call yourself celebrity coach. That does not mean that you cannot walk around and call yourself that because you're like, well, I don't care what these guys are saying. But it's a little bit frowned upon because it's like, how does this separate you from the rest of us? Because I have coached a celebrity as well. That was a few years ago. Not in the caliber that he has. Well, he wasn't a caliber, that guy, back then. But he does it regularly, and I think he's in Wonder Woman 2. He coached, I think, one of those actors as well, which I think is great. Don't get me wrong. And I also said it in the video, I think if you are coaching celebrities, you have to have a certain behavior and a certain sense of privacy that is different when you work with, as opposed to working with normal people. I do get it. And wow, he has 555 videos. To see how he's grinding and hustling, man, he deserves those subs. So another thing that I don't like about it is a lot of coaches who call themselves celebrity trainers are doing strange things, really strange things. Like I said, Dan John will call it supplemental. I call it sometimes what they do is not of value and sometimes even Looney Tunes. It's like, it's loony. It's what they do is like, what? They ignore the basics and they do all that, I always coin it, functional stuff. Doing crazy and unnecessary movements that don't benefit you at all, in my opinion. And the last thing that I don't like about the title is just because you are a celebrity trainer, a celebrity coaching somebody who is famous does not add anything to your expertise. But I get it, since he's a coach in Los Angeles, that's maybe the title that he has to wear, because the other celebrity trainer that comes to mind is Gunnar Peterson. And I used to like what Gunnar Peterson was doing, and then I was digging a little bit deeper into what he does, and now I'm like, wow, that's strange. These guys are just strange. But I mean, we all know LA and Hollywood is strange. The sound bites. For example, in that video, in the most disliked video of Livechat history, he said, the only way to get abs, I'm paraphrasing, the only way to get abs is to crossfire or to involuntarily fire your core, something like this. And some of these sound bites sounds strange to me. I'm like, what? Because he was talking to Jack Black. And there's two sides of that story. Nowadays, we're going to talk about it a little later. Nowadays, sometimes I get ahead of myself. I got to apologize. Nowadays, people are talking about core work. Core this, core that, right? Going to talk about it in a second. So if somebody comes up to me and says, I want to strengthen my core, or I'd like to call it the midsection. Sounds better. Because core is somehow has that negative touch to it nowadays. So the midsection that you want to work, then I'm like, okay, swings, clean and jerk, snatch. Or swings. One of the greatest exercise for your midsection is the swing. All right? So that's how most people get rid of their back pain, by the way. And that's why people are talking about the midsection or the lower back or core and stability. And I read a sign, and I don't have to get ahead of myself. Gregory, relax. Sometimes I got to talk with me in the third person. So that's the one thing, strengthening it. That's the one thing. The other thing that we can talk about is, and in the Jack Black context of things, getting abs, to me, means making them visible. And that's what people who are a little bit overweight, that's what sometimes they have this huge goal. I want to get abs. And they don't mean getting stronger. They mean getting them visible. And you know how you get abs? Check your nutrition. Be in a caloric deficit. There you go. So some of these sound bites, I don't agree with them. Number 3, when it comes to his nerd math, a lot of people were talking about me too. They were like, you got to check his nerd math. And you got to understand it. I am honest with you guys. I have watched a couple of videos about the nerd math, and I don't get it. What I get is the light and the heavy days. And I get that I like the idea of, hey, man, when you work heavy, the next day you work light. But then he said something, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something, why is there no 9-kilogram kettlebell? Because a 9-kilogram kettlebell would fit perfectly with the nerd math. Now I get it. Somebody commented on his videos and said, that's what happens when you have, and in a positive sense, this guy said, that's what happens when an engineer is doing the programming. So I think he's got an engineer background. I didn't check that far, but I think he's got an engineering background. So that's why it's a little, complicated. And maybe my knowledge level is not there that I can comprehend this idea. Yet I consider myself a coach. So if I'm talking to Dan John, simplicity is key. We're going to talk about it in a second. So I was watching these videos, trying to get a hold of it, and I didn't get a hold of it. And then I got a comment from somebody who said, the comment on his video was like, man, when a new nerd math video was coming, I always got to watch it twice and then do it. So that told me like, okay, you maybe don't get it at the first time. And if you don't get it at the first time, yes, there may be complicated stuff that we can talk about, but I'd like to keep it simple. And then somebody even commented on his channel. I'm not sure if it was his channel or if it was on my video where I was doing a remark about him. Said, well, I'm waiting for the app to be released to fully understand the nerd math idea. So it looks like even some of his followers don't understand it. So, and the last thing that we could talk about is like, well, who is following it? And maybe somebody's watching it and can give some feedback in the live chat. Who's following it? Who's seeing some crazy results with it? Even though I don't say that results are the end all be all, but hey, if people have results, most people are having results because they lift. That's it. And because there's one thing that I want you to notice. When I see Luka Kurche from Hardstyle Kettlebell Pro do a 52 kilogram Turkish get up, and he's, I think, at the same size as me. I think he's a little bit bigger, a little bit more muscle mass, but he's a lightweight dude like I am, and he does a 52 kilogram Turkish get up, then there is a method to the madness. So I can see it. I'm like, Luka, how? And I will have Luka on the podcast, and we'll talk about his programming, which I'm really looking forward to how he does it. So if somebody can do this, then I'm like, wow, there has to be something in it. If you can bring your deadlift in the next 3 months from 200 kilo up to 300, wow, there must be a method. You must be insanely strong, of course, as well, but there must be a great method that you follow. So the last quarrel that I have with the nerd math ideology is it is not following the KISS principle. KISS was, I think it was developed from a Marine or just in the military, and it says, keep it simple, stupid, or keep it short and simple. Then the DRY, the dry, this has actually nothing to do with Mark, but I wanted to have this in there because dry is for me. Dry means don't repeat yourself. I repeat myself over and over and over again. And in the last video that I was doing today, I'm really fighting this urge to repeat the stuff because I do it in real coaching, all right, with the clients. Then you have to say stuff sometimes over and over again for them to understand it. But on video, this doesn't work because the analytics on YouTube will show you this is where people drop off because you say the same thing 3 times. Now, the ROLP, and because Mark got an engineering background, I like these other abbreviations that are coming from the IT world, computing world, and engineering. ROLP means always choose the rule of least power. Oh, I really like this idea, the rule of least power. And then the Yagni, I celebrate this one. You ain't gonna need it. You ain't gonna need it. That's a principle as well. And then LIM, this is less is more. And CNS means central and supplements. What I believe, we talked about it already, what I believe a program should be, and maybe I'm on the wrong side of things. You can quote me on this, but if I change my mind, I will change my mind. But I believe training is the central idea. Lifting kettlebells, getting stronger, building your fitness, what most people want, getting stronger, building your fitness, get rid of your back pain, lose a little bit of weight, work on your coordinative efforts. And hey guys, you got to check this out. I'm right now talking to a scientific student. I think he's working on his doctorate, and we're going to talk about Alzheimer's disease and how kettlebells can influence that. It's going to be good stuff. I want to have him on the podcast. Plus, he asked me to review his work. It's awesome stuff, man. So many good things are happening right now. I'm so blessed. So training, moving should be central, and programming should be a supplement. Unless you're an athlete, then maybe it's more central. But even for athletes, how do you get better at the jerking? How do you get better at javelin throws? Well, throw the javelin. How do you get better at running? Well, run faster. Well, try to run faster. You see where I'm coming from? So moving is central, and programming should be supplemental. Number 4, his competition coaching and his workouts. I checked some of his videos where he said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, with this combination, with this combo, with the minutes, the RPM, and the minutes you work, you have 1,000 workouts. And 1,000 workouts will be like 1,000 snatch workouts will give you 10 years of lifting. Most people, I think nobody does this. Maybe Denis Vasilev, who's an 11-time world champion. He's done thousands of those workouts, maybe. I have done thousands of workouts as well, but not the same. Not the same. Gotta imagine this. So that sounds like a soundbite to me. I'm like, well, nobody's ever gonna do it. Not even athletes. Maybe beginners. You count them out. So that's where I differ, and where I also differ is I can give you my feedback on how I have prepared for the CKT2. But before I want to jump into this, I want to write this down, unless I forget it. The CKT2, I want to talk to you guys about this. I have learned some stuff, man. The brain is has very hard time memorizing stuff, so you got to write things down. So, and see, now I forgot the other thought. What did I want to say? Yeah, when it comes to competition coaching, guys, don't trust me on this. Don't trust me on kettlebell sport coaching for championships. And I dare to say that you cannot trust Mark Wildman for this. You can trust Brittany van Schravendijk, Fitbrit. She has champions under her belt, and she herself was an athlete. You can trust Denis Vasilev, 11-time world champion. I don't know if he has champions under his belt, but Orange County Kettlebell, these guys are tanks. And Fitbrit even said she's coming from the Ice Chamber. And they have the Ice Chamber Kettlebell girls, and there they have women who are pioneers in kettlebell training for women, talk to these guys and gals. These are the ones who have specialized, highly specialized in this. I'm not the right dude, and I don't think Mark is. When it comes to, gotta repeat myself, when it comes to competition coaching, that you want to compete, not just working out. You can take advice from me and him when it comes to working out, of course. But competing, you got to take the advice of folks who have been there, done that. And let me talk about the CKT. When I got certified by Steve Carter in the year 2019, in June 2019, I've invited Steve. I flew him in here from San Diego. He was in Italy. I flew him in here, and he coached Angie and me for 2 full days. And we were doing the CKT. That's the Certified Kettlebell Teacher number 1. And I got it backpedal a little bit. The IKFF, the International Kettlebell and Fitness Federation, is Steve Carter's institution. And Steve Carter worked closely with Pavel Tsatsouline. And Steve and Pavel, these guys are OGs when it comes to the kettlebell world. So they're well known in the world. Maybe now that we are all growing older, the younger generation doesn't know them, but maybe they know me and Mark, right? So the CKT1 was the first test that I had to do. This was 100 swings, 32 clean and jerks, or clean and presses, 30 goblet squats, and 60 snatches and 30 goblet squats. And with the clean and jerks and the snatch, you had 1 arm switch. So I had to prepare. He gave me some instructions, and I prepared for this. So I sent him the video, I passed it, and I've prepared for it like I've prepared for the CKT2, which I'm going to share now. How did I advance? 100 swings that I mentioned. 100 swings, 32 clean and press, 60 snatch, 30 squats, and then you had to hold. How did I prepare for this? Well, I started with a 12 kilo, started swinging. Asked Steve for some inputs for the coaching technique, and then I started doing it. And when Steve was here, he was the pivotal moment. He coached me in the most intensive way. But back then, before he was here, I had to prepare because he took the test live here. So what happened was I prepared for it with the 12. Started with 50 swings. Went up to 60, went up to 70, went up to 80 till I got the 100. Clean and jerk was the same. Snatch was the same, and squat was the same. And I had the most problems with the snatch. The snatch was beastly. I was really crying. It was so hard to do. And I had to do it with a 20 kilo. And for me as a novice, that was a killer. But I made it. But now, let's talk about the CKT2, because the CKT2 test actually puts me in the kettlebell ranking between rank 2 and 3 in kettlebell sport. So what I had to do was 40 jerks with 2 20s. Okay? Not putting the bells down. 40 jerks unbroken with 2 20s. So 40 kilos. Then immediately, it was a biathlon. Then immediately I had to do 100 snatches with 1 arm switch. Now let me tell you, how did I prepare for this? I didn't use this mathematics. I used simple terms. I started with 2 8s. Went up to 30, 40, did it. Started with 12s. 10, 20, 30, 40, did it. Started with 16s. And then I had to do smaller increments. 10, 20, 25, 30, 35. That was killing me. 40. Then I picked up the 20s. And this is where I really had to boil it down. 10, 15, 17, 19, 21, 25, 30, 31. And I almost missed it. I'm still having nightmares because I almost missed it when Steve was here, when he took the test. I was having nightmares about this scenario. I'm still having it because I was at the 39th rep with the jerk, and I missed it because I lost balance, and Steve was like, no count. And I almost went crazy because the power left me. But then I somehow, he was like, fast legs, quick legs, quick legs. Wow, I remember like it was yesterday. Still getting goosebumps. And boom, I made it. And with the snatches, how did I prepare? Well, I've killed a lot of palm skin, let me tell you, but I prepared for it. 40 snatches, 50 snatches, 60 snatches, 70 snatches, with the 12, with the 16, with the 20. Not a lot of complicated stuff every other day. And I was focusing in. I was honing in. That's how I did it. So when I look at the nerd math, it's like, wow, that's way too complicated. So in some of his technique, and this is just complaining on a high level, I have to share 2 things. Now, I saw one of his swings where I was like, what? I think it was a video 1.5 years ago. And in one video, he was doing kind of a squat swing. And if you engage in the swing, I don't care whether it's hybrid, hardstyle, or kettlebell sport, if you engage in a swing and you don't use the proper hinge motion or the proper knee engagement, then the swing is not going to work very well. So what he did was just a proper squat swing. That's it. So if you engage in a squat, you have to imagine kettlebells on top, so it drops down. Gravity does its thing. The kettlebell drops, right? So you go down, and then what he did was he went into a squat. And if you go into a squat, not hinging, if you go into a squat, then you miss out on the ballistic loading on your hamstrings, your lower back, and your glutes. That's what the swing is for. So that was like, oh, but that may happen. Whatever, man. But he demonstrated the lift, so it was like, maybe. In this video on the left side, he's demonstrating the snatch. The technique is safe. I'm not saying it's bad. Don't get it wrong. And don't point this in the comments. Don't start yelling, Gregory, you're saying Mark is bad technique. I'm not saying this. It's just on a higher note because I'm holding a coach to a different standard. When he does the snatch, I see that he learned it. But I don't see that that his technique was forged in the fire of thousands and thousands of reps. And that's hard to explain. You see it as a coach. If somebody has learned the snatch, I see it, but it still looks beginner little bit style. Yeah, you've mastered it, but if I see a Dennis, I see Fitbrit, I even see Joe Daniels from Swing This Kettlebell and Strength. I see how they do it. I see the Russians. I see Rudnev. I see Markov, even though Markov doesn't do a lot of snatches. But you see, it's been forged in thousands of reps. So that's what I don't see. Is it a bad thing? No, but I just don't see it. And on the right side, he was doing the same mistake like I was doing. And that shows me that he didn't get his school of thought from RKC or Strong First, which again isn't a bad thing, but I see what this is what I'm coming back to. This is where I see your train of thought is coming from. So in that way, what he does is this is bad for your lower back. This is bad for your lower spine because you're not engaging properly in a side hinge. And I don't want to engage now in this discussion what a side hinge is. We have a video about it. You can check out our channel. I'll talk to Luka Kurcher. He also talks about the Turkish get up. So this is a refined move that you have to do in order to save your spine, especially when you work with heavier weights when it comes to the Turkish get up. And if you do it like this, you put your lower spine in a troublesome position. And I've done this mistake as well, but it's been corrected from Luka, thank God. So that's one of the videos. It's 3 years old. So maybe, and that's one thing. Oh, thank God I'm mentioning this. Everybody, every coach on God's green earth will make mistakes. And like I said, I've reacted to workouts that were 3 years ago, and I had a blast because it looked so stupid. It looked so bad. The technique's so off. But I started somewhere at least. So in this case, I was like, wow, this anti-sugar alarmism that he provokes in here is he talks about that sugar is the devil. And maybe he changed his opinion. But I don't like this. Why do I not like this? I've been certified by Precision Nutrition. That's the world. These are the world leaders when it comes to nutrition coaching. And I've been certified in level 1 and level 2. Level 1 is a self-paced course, and level 2 is a high-intensity masterclass with a coach. And you got to check them out. PrecisionNutrition.com. These guys are awesome. So what this does is, and I don't want to dive deep into the talk about nutrition right now. But what I want to say is, if we push this anti-sugar alarmism, then people go crazy and they are fearful and they think sugar is bad. And you know what? There are statistics that show that carbohydrate consumption went down, but obesity is still going on up. So it's not carbohydrate, it's not the devil. Sugar is not the devil. Are food suppliers, are they using too much additive sugar? Of course, but that's because we want it. They act on supply and demand. And yes, you can talk about conspiracy theories, how they all want to kill us, but I don't believe that stuff. They don't want to kill us. They work according to supply and demand. So you can, and you probably have seen this in your life as well. If you walk into a meeting and you have one pile of fruits and one pile of bagels, which one will be eaten first? Not the fruit plate, let me tell you. So yes, there's too much sugar in that stuff. Yes, it can be troublesome. Yes, it can be or create problems. But there's a bigger problem. I always see the bigger picture. We just eat too much. We just eat too much calories in general. You get it? You can get overweight from drinking too much whey protein shakes. Whey protein mixed with milk, that's about 300 calories. You drink 4 of them a day, that's 1,200 calories. Where do you think that's coming from? And then you have people saying, well, that's the lactate, that's the carbohydrate in the milk. No, it's the calories. But like I said, we don't want to dive too much in this. Another thing that I don't see is lack of credentials. I checked his website, and I don't see the credentials. Somebody once said, yeah, I still don't see it, right? I was reading this, yeah, and I don't get it. Yeah, he talks about that he trains professional athletes in Hollywood Elite, but I don't see his credentials. And somebody said that he was certified from, and he mentioned this in this video, he didn't say certified though. He said he learned his competition kettlebell sports style from Valery Fedorenko in 2008. And if that's true, wow, that's old school. That's really old school, man. I think the first kettlebell seminar in Switzerland was in 2010 or something when Steve Carter visited CrossFit Bern. How crazy is this? So that's really OG, man, if that's true. And maybe the subscriber to his channel said it wrong. He said he was certified by Valery Fedorenko. And Valery Fedorenko, as far as I know, does not do certifications. If he does know, correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't see it. And I always want to see where you're coming from. I want to see your train of thought. And that's something, that's funny. That's funny. Do you even? Do you know this? You know what that means? Do you even? That's one thing that I'm missing with Mark is I don't see him lift. I don't see him train. And I think that's from The Matrix, where, what's that guy's name? The protector. He was the guardian of the Oracle. And the first time he met Neo, they started fighting. Pop, 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 pop. And Neo was like, "Whoa, what's going on? I gotta fight? You nuts? Okay, let's do it." And then they started fighting. And then the guardian says, "You only know somebody if you fight them first." And I was like, wow. So in that case, it's not about fighting, it's about lifting. I want to see you lift. And yes, there are different trains of thoughts, of course. Some people are great coaches and they don't lift, or they lifted before in their younger days. I'll lift till I die, man. I will lift until they put me in a casket. I'll be lifting. So that's what I don't see. But maybe in his older videos he did, but I just don't see that he lifts. And that's not a disagreement. That's just the Swiss in me, the Swiss businessman in me. Some folks were asking a couple of times on his app follow-up. I mean, that's not a problem. But what I see sometimes is when I say I'm releasing this and that, then it happens. I'm a man of my word. So I'm like, listen, you guys cannot deliver. He says the company has a ton of stuff. I'll be like, guys, you deliver tomorrow or else. I'm working with somebody else. I'm very keen on this. Then that's the businessman inside of me talking. I can be very rough, walking around with elbows if I have to when it comes to business. Not hurting people, but just sometimes you have to put some pressure on them. And just with 90 Days of Kettlebells, when we released it, was like, okay, we have pre-sale. Next week it's going to be released. And the final one, too much focus on core work. And I read a very interesting scientific article about this that says, I'm paraphrasing, but it says, if people are well-trained and they keep lifting, you can stop. You don't have to overly focus on core work. You just don't have to. And when you work out with kettlebells, cleans, like I mentioned, clean and press, snatch, swing, you're done. You're done. You got it. You got your core. And then that overweight 3 best exercises for overweight people, which I really enjoy. I did a similar video, but in German. I really enjoyed that video. It's like he mentioned the word core so many times. I think even a newer video that I watched or a recent video, core. It's all about core. And I think the most important aspect of your midsection is bracing. Yes, you have to brace when you work with kettlebells because, I want to quote Dr. Stuart McGill, when you are engaging in a swing, and especially the hard style swing, because you use a lot of force. When you engage into a swing, you go into the backswing phase of the lift. You pull it back, right? You hike it. That's what the hard style guys call it. I call it backswing. The kettlebell's in the backswing. Then you gotta use acceleration from your hamstrings, glutes, lower back, that fire that it's coming from behind. Boom, you gotta use it. Kettlebell starts flying. So once you're in that hike position and in your ready position, the spine is axial, right? That's the English word, axially compressed. So you have compression, which is great, like in a normal deadlift. But what happens is when you engage in the hip extension and shooting the weight in front of you, there's no more compressioning. There is still compressioning happening, but also shear forces. Shear forces want to move your spine like this, all right? So you have to imagine the weight's pulling you outwards and you have to brace your abdominals to be safe. That's what you got to do. So you got to brace, most important aspect of training with kettlebells, but not overly focusing on the core. And just on a final note, and then we're going to take another break. I got to take the dog out for a minute. I hope you guys bear with me, because if you guys have had some great inputs in the Q&A, I will jump into the Q&A, and then I think we're done. Wow, already 1 hour and 15 minutes. I just love talking, man. Now, when it comes to Disagreement continued, you see these heavyweights on the list? Pavel Tsatsouline, Dan John, Nick Mitchell, the CEO of Ultimate Performance. Going to talk about it quickly. Steve Carter, Charles Poliquin, Luca Fitbrit, Redefining Strength, myself. I disagree on some areas. For example, Pavel Tsatsouline, I disagree with the idea that you're supposed to use a 32 kilogram kettlebell, or I think it was 28, 24, in the first revision of Simple and Sinister. I think that's too much. He revised it. I also disagree with the idea that he has this, this rough edge Spetsnaz type of vibe. Well, that's his shtick, and that's totally fine. Does that mean that I discredit the man? Does it mean that he doesn't? He was the guy who put kettlebells on the map. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. But I'm still able to disagree with guys, because I'm not honed in, oh, he's the legend and he's the... No. Nobody's infallible. Dan John, I love that. Man, when I'm talking to Dan John, he's like my father. He's like my dad talking to me. And I'm like a sponge. I listen to everything. And recently he shared his assessment. And while he was sharing his assessment, I thought to myself, wow, he does a lot of assessing. I think I don't do this. I think that's too much, for my opinion. But he's a strength coach. He does things differently. But it's still valuable what he shared with me. Nick Mitchell, he's the CEO of Ultimate Performance. You got to check him out. If you're a personal trainer, you got to follow him, because he's the personal trainer of the personal trainers, because he runs, I think, 10 or 15 gyms all across the continents. I listen to what this guy does, because I'm a personal trainer myself, but I disagree on how he handles his Instagram and social sometimes. And I disagree that he sometimes talks about his people, his employees. So what? Doesn't mean that he's the rest, that he shares so much valuable stuff. I'm not going to unsubscribe from him, because, hey, we agree to disagree. Steve Carter, he shared with me so many things. He was the pivotal moment in my career, in my kettlebell coach career. And he shared some stuff with me, and he said, well, I don't believe in the scientific method. I'm paraphrasing. Science is not my thing. More the earth. I'm bound to the earth and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I disagree. Doesn't mean that he said science is bad. He just said, I'm not so much into science. Charles Poliquin, rest in peace, God rest his soul, a legend in the coaching world. I disagree on the idea that he once said in an article, he'll never go to a place, he'll never visit a seminar where they don't serve grass-fed bison meat or something like this. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Luca Curcia, my brother from another mother, I think I disagree with him that he doesn't want to engage in kettlebell sport and see what this part of the world has to offer. Fitbrit, she was talking about, she's a champion. She knows more than I do. She was talking about the rack rest position. I was like, wow, she shared some stuff with me where I was like, wow, I see it differently and I feel it differently. But who cares? Redefining Strength, that's Corey Levkovith from Redefining Strength. She does great work on her YouTube channel. I disagreed on her idea on the American swing. And sometimes I even disagree with myself. You see this? We all do this, right? Sometimes disagree with ourselves. So that's it, guys. That's the biggest part of the reactions. Now follows the Q&A. If you're still up for it, you got to give me 5 minutes. I got to take the dog out. And then I'm having a conversation with you guys. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay, guys, let's jump into the comments. I read something. Oh wait, you got it. That's how we do it now. So give me a second, guys. It's over 100 people. Wow, that's crazy, man. So many folks in the chat. I read one word. I was like, I like that. What was that? A bit. Where is it? Where is that? A bit of a nothing burger. A bit of a nothing burger for the disagreements. Hey, you just served me a nothing burger, brother. Oh, I like that, Matt. What kind of expression is that? I like this. So, I hope my iPhone battery doesn't die. So let's check it out. Man, wow, I don't see the comments. Wow, so many comments? Wait. Wow. Yep. Wow, a lot of comments, man. Okay, let's check it out. Nick Robinson about the... I'm starting from the top, guys. Nick Robinson saying he's 2 weeks in and he's loving the 90 Days of Kettlebells. Thank you, man. Chat, been doing Skog workouts lately. Skog? Michael Skog. Yeah, I heard about Michael Skog. How is he? How is Michael Skog? Let's go. Greg knew this would be a draw. Plugging 90 base first is a pro start move. That's what's up, brother. I've learned this. I've learned some sales tactics, my brother. But hey, it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. And everybody who's still joining, thank you so much for joining. We're now in the Q&A session. If you want to see what I have went through, the whole reaction, you can jump back. And now, fire off, guys. I think I'll be on for another 30 minutes. And then I'm gone because Angie, my wife, she's not in town right now. So I can relax. Here we go. I'm just a poor boy from a poor family, brother. All right, we love you nonetheless, man. You're always on fire in these comment sections in the live chat. Thank you so much, man. Team hashtag Team Igor. I like it. Chat. Oh, you didn't realize it was live? Yep. Yeah. Sometimes we do stuff live. Chat saying, I wonder if Jack Black is still training kettlebells. That's a very great question, man. I don't know if he does neither. Saw him on Wildman. Yeah. And you know what it is with a lot of these people, or with a lot of people. I'm not saying a lot of these people. What it is with people is, Dan John coined this. He said, what most people need is, I got it. Wait, I got to paraphrase it right because I'm paraphrasing it right. Dan John, saying, maybe I find it. Dan John quote. Where is it? Yeah, I think there are two keys to success. One is to show up. The other one is to keep going. Most people don't keep going. I subscribe to this idea 100%. Any suggestions on how to minimize shoulder impingement during training? T Cook saying, stop doing the American swing. And maybe if it's really bad, always talk to a physiotherapist who can help you on this. Then it's tribalism. Yeah, tribalism, guys. Why are there no captions? Well, it's live. That's why there are probably no captions. And yeah, the tribalism thing, guys, listen, I don't want to take it as an excuse. I think, tribalism, sometimes it's the delivery, and I'm aware of this. Sometimes it is the delivery. If I don't deliver well, or if I'm making mistakes, doesn't mean that I change just because somebody says something or has a critical word to say. That doesn't mean that I change my whole shtick or my whole idea. But sometimes tribalism can really go far. And I always thought to myself, I don't want this to happen to this community that we're building. If somebody says something negative about Lebe or about what I do, about what we do, man, who cares? Who cares? If it's trolling and you feel the need to defend, yeah, sometimes people are defending us, which I think it's cool. It's cool. Somebody commented, even on this Karolin Gervan video, somebody commented, was like, hey man, you guys are overdoing it. But at the end of the day, you can't argue with a fool. You'll always lose. There's probably an art to doing a reaction video without it coming across like a takedown. You've gotten very good at reactions, but that one did feel a little confrontational. These comments suck, though. Thank you, David. Yeah, see, I think I got this. And that's an art, not to be confrontational or attack people. And yeah, once you start reactions, you just get better through feedback. And so I really appreciate it, David. His Bob Harper reaction got me to describe. Oh man, Bob Harper, guys. You know, I try. Listen. As a man of Christian faith, I want to be polite. I want to be respectful. I don't want to use foul language. But there's two reactions that really got the better of me. That was one of these was and we get a lot of comments on them as well. One of them was the reaction for the weight loss, the Biggest Loser thing that really got me. And the other one was that Bob Harper thing. And wow, if I see coaches mistreating people, that really gets me. Slow boat to China. Yeah, that's what she said. Comments were definitely off. Yes, Matt. Trolls just ping trolls. That's what's up, man. Gregory critiques men and women coaching. That's what I don't care about this. I don't care. And it was like, you are out to destroy people. You're out to attack people. You are out to pull them down. And like I said, you can't argue with folks like this. And I realized it. But sometimes I'm like, man, you want to hide. I think that was a good comment. You try to hijack a well-meant critique into an attack on women. And even in the comment section, people in the Caroline Girvan video, you got to check out these comments. People got very defensive, and then they're like, well, I'm acting very defensive. While I'm like, well, I try to stay as respectful as possible, but sometimes you gotta defend your ground, right? You gotta defend your stand. And then somebody defended me, what I did, and then somebody was like, oh, stop it, you fanboy. When in reality, these were the fanboys who were starting the war in the first place. It's interesting, man. The fitness world is false guru driven. Agree, 100%. Like martial arts styles, it becomes a religious thing. Yes. Finishing up my first week of 90 Days of Kettlebells, loving it. It's a wonderful reminder of how horrible my posture is, Justin. And just keep pushing. The first week and the first month is these easy workouts. And if you're not sure, jump back to the tutorials. That'll help you. Both practice kettlebell jiu-jitsu. I love Mark's videos. That's great, Justin. Too many loyalists out there who are slighted by even the meaningless comments. Yeah, that's what's up, man. 90 Days of Kettlebells, folks. YouTube on, brother. You keep pushing this even more than I do it right now. Matt, I didn't think the last video was the greatest compared to some of the other reaction videos, but it didn't seem so awful either to freak out about. Which one are you referring to if you're still on? Does Gregory cover muscle activation for each movement? I think in some of the videos I did it, but I don't always talk about it. But I think one of the videos where I'm comparing the swing, the goblet squat, and the deadlift, this is where I'm talking about muscle activation. Alex Welby, back in the day, the comments on the CrossFit pull-up videos were insanely aggressive. Ooh, Alex, you're 100% right. And about CrossFit, I have read an interesting scientific study that I have to do a video about, and I'm not joking. The authors of the study, and I got this from the comment section, from our comment section, and the authors of the study said, hey, we still need more data. Of course, we still need more data to be sure about it, and there's a lot of bias in those studies that they've pulled, but they talked to some people who had injuries, CrossFit related. And one of them, I'm not joking, I got to do a video about it. One of them had their eyes ripped out. The retina was ripped off. When I read this, I was like, what? Are you serious? So that was one. And the other one was somebody had, I think it is an artery that goes into the brain. It's almost brain damage because that artery had a dysfunction or something. And the last one got a stroke. These are the tough injuries. And while they say, well, it's not 100% CrossFit related, it's somehow in that realm. Man, that study, you got to check out the video that I got to do it soon, man. The pull-up purists versus the kipping. Oh, I like this. The pull-up purists. Man, I would consider myself a kettlebell purist. That's great. Respect the bell. Yeah. Language used was fine. And Alex, you're making a good point about the language. Listen, if you have constructive feedback, I like what Matt said about this is a nothing burger. That's not foul language. That's even funny. So that shows me that Matt is like, listen, the points that you disagree with him, they're made out of thin air. So in Matt's view, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, if you're still on. In Matt's view, my disagreements are not a big deal. And to me, they are, because I'm a purist. But they're not a big deal that I would say, well, Mark is bad. All right? I like this insight on the American swing. CrossFit swear by it. I'm not a fan. Yup. The American swing guys with the internal rotation and flexion of the shoulder. Yeah, 105 peeps were there. Yup. Got to train with the 90-day kettlebell system. Yeah, I love you, brother. You're awesome. I think Marv gives excellent instructions. He's very, very clear. Yeah, I saw this as well. I can learn from him in the delivery. Well, English is my second language, but there's still a lot that I can learn from guys who are very articulate and very concise and clear. I got to learn that, man. Anyone else find that Mark Wildman's nerd math is just normal math? Matthias, that's probably the reason why I don't get it, because I never understood math. And see, if you're having fun with that system and it works for you, that's awesome. I just believe keeping it simple, that the KISS principle is where it's at. Does it mean that people cannot deviate from it and use it and maybe even build a good system that is a little bit more complicated? Of course not. Mark and Greg's videos are the best. Thank you, brother, man. Paul, love Mark's channel. It was his channel that got me interested in both kettlebells and later clubbells, and now I'm using both. See, that's why Mark has to be commemorated. Why? Because he's leading folks to the kettlebell, which is awesome. And he's not off base with these funny looking exercises that we sometimes see. Like it. Yeah, both for exercise breakdown and program breakdown. A lot of good stuff from Mark. That's what's up. YouTube Punk Nerd Math, he got lost. Matt, haven't watched enough Lebe stock stuff yet, but for what I've seen, also quite good. Thank you, Matt. YouTube Punk, he's getting lost. Been watching Lebe stock regularly for 6 months. Wow, thank you, Paul. Wow. And I'm really glad to see you learning from hardstyle and being less tribal. Your content was good and now it's great. Wow, thank you very much. Yes, and you're making a good point there, Paul. I was being tribal as well with the kettlebell sport thing until I had that interview with Dennis, and that was like a revelation that hit me like a ton of bricks. And then I started opening up my mind. I started talking to Luca. Because Luca reached out to us first when he gave us feedback about the Turkish getup. And then we now became friends. I think he's on his way to France. And maybe he shows up in the studio. If he does, you got to follow us on Instagram. You'll see a picture. Man, Luca, he's a brother from another mother, man. I love this guy. Luca Kurce, Kettlebell Hardstyle Pro. You got to check him out. Gregory, I was told there'd be no math. With the nerd math? Alex, I would give a lot to master the jerk. I just can get it in my muscle memory. Alex, just keep pushing. Keep pushing. I'm still working on my jerk as well. It's all about dropping the knees, not slamming the heels to the floor, pushing the hips back, getting under the bell, and feeling it. Takes time. Don't get lost and don't lose hope. Matthias, lol, my downtown apartment ceiling isn't high enough for clubs. Yeah. Oh, we hear this sometimes. The people be like, I can't do snatches or straight press because the ceiling is too low. Yeah, we get that. I think kettlebell mixed with club bells and maces are a great mix. Yep, they are. Except when neighbors are annoying you. Both you, Jeremy Koch, both you and Mark Wildman are on my top list of kettlebell training since lockdown. Hands down, and keep rolling those contents. Thank you, brother Jeremy. Thank you so much, man. And Crisco, Eric Leja is really awesome too. Yeah. When it comes to on it, I think Eric is the real deal. Eric knows his stuff. And the reaction my reaction to him, what I really like is his coaching methodology. I see he's empathetic. And see, that's where people are drawn to Mark, where he got that dry humor and that dry delivery that a lot of people connect with, which is awesome. And maybe I don't connect with it as well. I'm more like I talk with my hands, right? My arms. Doesn't mean that I cannot learn from people who are quiet and reserved. Doesn't mean that. But Eric is more like cultural. We're probably culturally not in the same group, but we probably have some cultural similarities. That's why I really like it, the way he vibes, the way he talks, and he's very empathetic, man. Eric is a beast, and he's a beast too, man. 100%. Time to watch a movie with my wife, date night. Yes, respect you all. Stay safe. Thanks for joining, Alex, man. Adios. Ciao. Cameron Hedges. I did Mark, Gregory, Kat, and Brittany a ton. I have loads of kettlebell training with many different folks and still learn a lot from these coaches on a daily basis. That's great, man. And Kat's Kettlebell Dojos, he's coming up. Kat's Kettlebell Dojo is coming on this podcast. And even another guy that you all know, I can say it now because I think we've verified it. Chandler Marchman will be on this podcast. And we'll have a great discussion about kettlebells, YouTube. Looking forward. I've sent Ramsey Dewey another request. I caught him on his live stream, and I sent him a donation. I was like, hey, man, can we do the podcast? It was, Lebe start. Oh, he's a cool dude. Hey, man, we got to do the podcast. And he gave me the email. I sent him an email. Ramsey, please, hit me up, man. We got to do the podcast. It's going to be great. Wow, I didn't know that video had that many views. Matt, which video are you referring to? Matthias, neck drills are top priority, 100%. Matt, been doing that neck drill almost daily since it came out. Great. Not forgetting Funk Roberts. That's what's up, Jeremy Funk. And Kettlebell Fit Rip, you guys are following the right folks, man. And Funk is the man. And listen, Funk is more that metabolic coach, but his technique is solid and his vibe is awesome. I love Funk. And he recently commented on the Eric Leja video. He was like, I love Eric, but I love you too, brother. Man, Funk is awesome. Is this the Janet Jackson drill? This one? Yeah, that's cool. Ben, really good video. Thank you. I need to review chat again to look up these other coaches. Cell phones jacking up our physiology. I believe the computer proceeds. Respect the Dogo. That's what's up, man. Team Igor. Yeah, he coaches the stunt doubles, and it's his career. Yep. That's great. About stunt doubles, I saw. Did you see that? Did you catch that? I think Shredded Sports Science did a video on this. That was funny. This one video of Thor's workout app. Wow, you gotta watch this. And that's his stunt double is in there as well. He has never really talked about it as being a reason for why you should pay attention to him. Oh wait. Yeah, that's how I have always taken it too. It's just showing that it's day job. Yeah, I get it with the celebrity trainer title. Yeah, I enjoy Wildman's ever-changing backgrounds. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Then he's in the barn. Then he's in the wild. That's cool. Trying to figure out where he is on his most recent ones. Almost looks like a hotel or something. Pretty sure it's his ranch. I feel like Mark was the one that taught me to engage the core. His cues and exercise for coins are amazing. Really helped me with back pain. Great, man. The one where he reviews a prototype hydro core, I think that's a different exercise tool that he uses, right? Today he was at the hydro core headquarters. That's cool. All right. Did we got anything else? I know we said something about stealing the prototype. Mark's app is supposed to be eliminating the issue with the nerd math. That's great. See, that's why you guys need that app. I guess we are here for Mark. That's great, man. That's great. That's great that you guys are showing up for Mark. That's cool. You should listen to him because he has a real life experience, not just with other people, but also personally. Is there anything he has not tried? Martial arts, combat sports, aerial, motocross. That's great. And kettlebells are great, Leonard. That's what's up. The best result is staying consistent with whatever health regimen you are on. 100%. The best workout program is the one that you enjoy and that you can adhere to. Whatever that is up to you. So, thumbs up. Thanks for the content. You're welcome, brother. Also, farm boy, horse rider, and his mother worked with disabled riders. Wow. Yeah, strong background. I want to see Ellis and Wildman crossover episode, Talk Shop. That would be interesting. Yes, of course it would be. Awesome. The nerd math is too much. I'm a big fan of simplicity. Orlando, that's me as well. Hard to find Mark on any podcasts or other stuff. Maybe because he's focused. You know, when you're focused, I love to collaborate with folks. And there's nothing wrong with staying focused and staying in your lane and be like that. That's the way where I want to go, and I think that's his vibe. So, I think the two of them are mostly, we are, like I said, we're mostly on the same page. Yep. Wow, it's a long one. Yes, there it is. We're still going. Others might prefer a slightly different approach that I'm giving. Yes, and that's fine. If you grasp the nerd math, it's a powerful tool. All right, but I think it's mostly just different ways of pointing people to the same goals from both of them. Yes, that's what's up. Great comment. I enjoy the nerd math approach myself. I don't understand why you agree with nerd math. Like I mentioned, Theodore, because I believe just rewatch the video. It seems like he's nitpicking to try and find disagreements. No, it's not. Really, these disagreements, like I'm saying it, guys, it's not an attack. But I see some stuff with him that I don't disagree with others, which is totally fine. Nerd math is fine. There are a lot of other good videos on programming on YouTube, which is cool. Every time I watch a nerd math clip, I have the urge to buy a big whiteboard. Nerd math started out simple, but I'm lost, hoping his app takes out the confusion. Though the app seems to have gone not well. It sounded like the app company seems to not know what to do. And Mark often uses hyperbole. It's not meant to be taken literally. Paul, I was thinking about that as well, that maybe sometimes I don't get his dry humor. And that's maybe where I'm like, sometimes I don't get it. In a recent reaction, that one video was supposed to be a skit. I didn't get it. I reacted to it. I thought it was real and serious. And now I'm like, wow, that swooshed over my head. All right, talking about the app. I've watched Carter, Mark, and Greg snatch video tutorials, and sadly, I still stuck. Matthias, let me tell you, man, the kettlebell sport snatch takes ages to learn. Let me tell you. And especially when you go with heavier weights, when you increase the RPM, when you work with longer time, the kettlebell sport snatch, I have to be honest, we rarely teach it because most people don't need it. And most people for general fitness, I believe, don't need the kettlebell sport approach. I think the hardstyle approach is much more minimalist and a better sensible approach, or even just a half snatch, I think is better because it takes so much time to coach that exercise, the technique, that sometimes it's, for most people, probably not worth it. But it's still, the snatch is a monster. It's a beast. I've watched his nerd math videos. Have made big difference in my workouts. His Mace playlist is one of the greatest training series I've ever seen. That's great, man. I watched the entire nerd math playlist and then made a big spreadsheet for myself based off what I took out of it. I could easily morph it into a proper ad. Derek, do it, man. Do it for the sake of this app company that doesn't seem to work out. I think the idea of nerd math is not prescriptive as much as it is to share a bunch of different ideas and the logic that goes into them so you can design your own program. That's great. And I'm more on that side where I'm like, I like to follow a given set, given program, even though I like programming myself as a coach. But yeah, I'm still missing the simplicity aspect of it. You have to do, like you guys talk about, you got to buy a spreadsheet and buy a huge whiteboard. I'm more like, we have a huge whiteboard. It's like not a lot of stuff is on there. It's the easy, the simple, basic stuff. So, man, you guys went nuts with the comment. I can't take this. I can't take this. Man, I got to go a little faster. Bagels suck. Shield for the sugar industry. You're serious, Theodore? I'm a shield for the sugar industry. Yeah. Well, if you think I am, you know, the sugar industry, that's like when you take a nutrition concept, and I think nutrition is on the same page as training and fitness is as well. If you disagree with for example, with keto, then the keto zealots go nuts on you. If you disagree that sugar is the devil, then the guys who demonize sugar will go after you. If you say that whatever, nutrition is very religious. And I see it in so many cases. And I follow great folks and great scientists in that matter. Alan Aragon is one of the guys that you should follow. He's a very good nutritionist. And I think he's very scientific based, and he has a doctoral degree in that area. Even though when you listen to Dr. Jason Fung, that's another word. But yeah, I don't want to get into too complicated. But nutrition is the same area. As you can see, Theodore believes I'm a shill, as if I had anything to gain that if you eat more sugar. And that's what sometimes people jump into it, this idea that it is black and white or that it's religion. If you say this, you must be in that kind of camp. See, that's what happens. That's what happens. Man, wow. I enjoyed that you guys are really going crazy in the comments. All right, here I was. Marcus for grown-ups. Okay, Paul, you think I'm not grown up? Oh, man, guys, please. Changed my Turkish get up from Greg's video on the side, and still learning Turkish get up. Yup. And I got this from Luca, guys. And the side hinge, especially if you're working with heavy weights, pay attention to it. What a waste of my time. Nothing to take out of your comments. No substance, nothing. Really, really sad that you take it that way, Augusto. But I can't help it. I need to watch the Turkish. Yeah, do it, Matt. Do it. Commenting is dangerous. Lost 130 pounds, getting off processed sugar, but staying on That's awesome that you lost so much weight. And that's what, when it comes to sugar, what most people do is when they eliminate processed food is they reduce the amount of calories that they take in. So that's the reason why they then lose weight. And of course, eating less sugar is healthy if you overdo it, especially on the additives. But mostly in general, at the end of the day, is you reduce the amount of calories. And that's what helped you lose weight, which is awesome, man. Awesome, brother. He's really going in depth on this review. Looking forward to go back to the start and watch the whole thing. Derek, let me know what you think about it. Jose, I gotta read slow, Gregory. Read slow. I think that's something that is not mentioning and that Mark consistently reminds people is that he has lots of injuries. Really? Mark has lots of injuries? Didn't know this. I agree with what Gregory is saying though, but it's good to hold that in mind. I did not know. Wow. Sugar is a generic term. Is generic a time. Yes, that's the high fructose corn syrup, right? But not because it's sugar. Carbohydrates in moderation is fine. The more nutrient dense, the better. The less toxic additives, the better. That's what's up, brother. I'm on the same page. Yeah. Bagels suck. Bagels pass. I love your name. Commenting is dangerous. That's an awesome name, right? I had toast with whole butter and bacon every day and oats and honey and lost weight. It's a processed sugar that's no good. Yes, but excess carbohydrates drives insulin up, which drives blood glucose down, which drives hunger up, which drives calorie consumption up. Satiety is key. Managing carbs is a key to satiety. Well, the interesting aspect is if you heard of the potato diet, which was carbs only. And it's an old school approach, I believe. And this one person, you got to check this out, the potato diet. And the guy lost over 100 pounds eating high carbohydrates. So the insulin question, you check out what James Krieger, I think his name is James Krieger. What James Krieger is talking about insulin. Insulin is the same thing. People demonize it and some people don't. What I see, and I'm on the page of more like the highly processed foods are highly palatable. Nobody picks up a vegetable bag and starts eating and can't stop. But when you open up a chips bag or highly processed food, it was made that way that you cannot stop eating it. That's a huge problem. And that's not the carbohydrates. Mostly it's the carbohydrates and the fat in combination with protein, of course. It's all, and when you eat something, you always have these 3 macronutrients. But check this out. I think the key is the highly palatable foods. Palatability is what drives us crazy. And yes, the additives, of course, but there's also a demand, unfortunately, for it. Very interesting. You guys are having great comments. So I thought about this, and basically there's no way Mark is not legit. I'm not saying he's not legit, Derek. Please don't. Very important, guys. I got to reiterate this again. I'm not saying he's not legit. Guys were asking for my feedback, and I was agreeing and disagreeing. Not saying it's not legit. Because I got an addicts club and tried swinging it, we do see Mark lift to show how to do things. To be honest, I don't want to come to a channel and watch a workout. That's totally fine, Matt. Hey, it's YouTube punk comment, lol. Yeah, Mark's got a depth of knowledge. Don't listen to that. YouTube. Yeah, you're killing it, man. And he's using a different club or bell. Remember, YouTube punk is meta. So does our magnesium torch. Dude, is bad news. Well, it's surprising how reasonably priced clubs are. Well, kettlebells just took off. Every video he presents and shows the workout, I don't need to see him do an entire workout. Him teaching me a couple of dozen mace moves has me up to 25 minutes straight, which is awesome. It makes things too complicated for me. I felt overwhelmed when I went to his channel. Gregory made it simple and approachable. And see, that's just difference. It's just, I think I'm a 100% believer in the KISS principle. And while there may be some systems that are highly complicated, I do believe, even after talking to Dan John, that the simplicity is key in most cases. And that's probably the biggest differentiating factor between what I believe and what Mark does with his series. Mark talks about bracing all of the time, doesn't he? That's usually why he says clubs do so much for your abs, because you're continuously engaged, and that's what's up. I say that Mark is experienced with the club, is as experienced with the club than the kettlebell. Core talk is fine since most people are out of shape. And that's where I believe, you know, sometimes man, I'm almost 2 hours now. I gotta go faster. We don't truly understand. I like this, Jose. We don't truly understand enough of nutrition to demonize anything, really. People imagine we do, but we don't. What happens? Ooh, that's a great saying. What happens in a Vivo cell is mostly a black box. I think, Jose, there's a lot of truth in this statement. When we take a look at, I think nutritional science is what, 100 or 200 years old? Such a young scientific world compared to chemistry, which is thousands of years old, which I think is a great comparison to understand where we at with nutrition. So guys, I really check if I have anything. Thanks for the Krieger recommendation. We'll look into his information. Do it. Krieger, James Krieger is awesome. Gregory, it is pronounced hyper with stress on the per. Hyperbole. Yeah. Hyperbole, right? Yep, getting it. Thank you. See if we got some other feedback. Nothing burger just means that. Yeah. I liked it. I'm taking this away, man. Hey, you got it. You ain't served me nothing but nothing burgers, brother. Oh man, you guys are killing it. Thank you so much for joining, man. And mostly, I like this comment section. And guys, I'm not feeling offended at all. I mean, if we have viewers from Mark who are giving me some additional insights, and like you guys shared with the nerd math, which is awesome. And then, of course, we got some folks who get mad and think that I'm a shill for anything or whatever, and that's just normal. But I mean, I really enjoy that you guys are so respectful and giving so great feedback in the comments. This is good stuff. I've learned so much from YouTube, guys. I like Gregory's whole series and his approach of making an open dialogue. It's right, nobody's infallible. I've gotten a lot of information nowadays from Mark, but I'm also learning from others. That's great, Derek. And I'm just recently watching a video between a Christian pastor and an atheist. And the atheist said something that struck a nerve with me. I don't like debates. I want dialogue. Yep. I enjoy this. I don't want debates. I want dialogue. I want to talk to people. See two sides of the coin and then have a conversation. Yes. Anybody know what Lebestark translates to, Matthias? Am I saying this right, Matthias? Matthias would be the German thing, Matthias. Lebestark means live strong in German. I think different perspectives is a better way to approach this than disagreement. You then share your critique and offer what you believe to be improved approaches, but without all the drama. Yes, but still, I think that's why people believe disagreement has such a strong negative touch to it. Because it's like, I disagree with you, and I do understand because of today's day and age, but I can still disagree with you in a... And isn't it funny that we have to use the adjective respectfully disagree? Because if I don't use that adjective, this probably implies that I'm disagreeing with you on a very negative term, in a very negative way of thinking, and in an emotional way of thinking. I have to use the adjective disagree to not make people feel bad, which I think is stupid. It's just a word. I agree with you or I disagree, and we both get along just fine. But I like it. Different perspectives is a great description as well. No affiliation with Lance Armstrong. No, brother, it's not. Hashtag Team Ego. You're killing it, man. I think he covered too much here. Should have focused on one video instead to why the Iron Man is called Tony Stark. Tony Strong. That's what's up. Tony Stark's my brother, man. Tony Stark's the king. I love Tony. Who doesn't love Tony? I'm 100% anti-tribe. I train martial arts and frequently visit 3 different gyms, and you clearly notice how the styles and focus is different. I don't expect more or less from kettlebells. Jose, you're so right. That's why I want to talk to Ramsey Dewey, because he'll probably give me some more insights on the martial arts world, but I see this as well. Karate, jiu-jitsu, or the MMA side of things. And then even the jiu-jitsu guys are amongst each other and are not agreeing. But hey, if we agree to disagree, it's fine as long as we can learn from it, isn't it? That's the ticket, Jose. What's up, man? Love your contribution to the game. Thank you, brother. Ideologies are self-limiting and often created by others to perception manage. Oh, I like this. They are bad news, logically assembled, relevant data, free of contradiction and reliance on logical fallacy. Ooh, I gotta copy this, man. You should know how much I have learned from these comments, man. Ideologies are self-limiting and created by others to perception manage others. Wow! Dan the Secret Johnson. That's what's up, man. John. Not Dan Johnson, brother. Dan John. I always wanted Gregory to try out a kettlebell, King kettlebell. Wonder how much it would cost to send him one from the States. Actually, we were thinking about creating our own kettlebells. And the supplier told me if you want your own logo, your own brand, it's 3 to 5 tons. That's a little bit much, but once we cross 100,000 subscribers, we will do our own kettlebells. But Kettlebell Kings, I've heard nothing but good stuff, especially the hollow core bells. Hollows, I'm hearing good stuff. The method of intellectual self-defense is called the trivium. It was developed by the ancient Greeks and removed from the American schooling system by Rockefeller. Man, wellness path for me, you're sending me down a rabbit hole. I can already see it. See what's the value that it's so beautiful that there's value that I can give you, and at the same time, you guys are giving me value. Man. Jose, I hadn't thought of it that way. Great perspective. I appreciate how Mark takes injuries and overweight people into his training. And wow, that's a great point. I think injuries are to a certain degree, I believe, to a certain degree, yes, but I am very clear on referencing out to physiotherapists. If people are critically injured, can't move their arms really and have pain, then I think I'm not the right guy to talk to. Even though we have this trend of holistic coaching, I still think, no, I got to reference you out because I want to hone in on one area. Doesn't mean that I want to, where's the word? That I want to discriminate against these people. No. And about the overweight, working with overweight people, we have this as well. And you guys got to understand, you have to be an empathetic coach to be able to work with overweight people who have a broken mindset, who have a broken way of thinking. And not broken in a negative sense. They are just coming from a place of pain. That's why I went so crazy on this Biggest Loser reaction. Because these people are in a place of pain. And all they need is passion and love. That's good, man. What do you think about Mark's technique taking into account his surgeries? I didn't know. Man, I didn't know. I think that adapting exercise to injuries and limitation is something not talked about in the kettlebell world. Well, Pavel talked about it. He was working with banged up guys who were really banged up from heavy lifting, and they were able to perform pretty well with the kettlebell. And of course, if you have injuries in a certain way, for example, if you're only able to press the kettlebell in the top fixation and your arm is slightly leaning forward, you will feel more of your shoulder because you're not your center of mass, but your shoulder that allows it, then that's anthropometrically speaking, that's the way that you have to go. So 100% may look different then. Okay, hi Gregory, I love your channel. I was so out of shape when I started with Lebe stock. I could barely make it through half a session. I was so lucky to find a trainer that really worked for me. That's awesome, brother, man. MJ Galante, hi Gregory, I love your channel. I learned so much. Question: you have stated that kettlebell workouts help lower back pain, but what about the upper cervical spine area? Last year I had a herniated disc. Oh, it's a great question. The upper cervical spine area here. Wow, I think I have to pass on that. On this. You have to keep your spine locked. So just looking at it from my inexperienced view now, right? That's my inexperienced perspective, just going through the spine. That's why I ordered the book. I've ordered this book from Dr. Stuart McGill. This awesome book, and I paid a huge sum of money, but I got to read this book because it's all about the spine. So I want to understand it clearly. So, you know, I think it's important to keep the pressure, the compressive forces active, but I don't know how much movement there is in the cervical area, especially on the top of the swing, because sometimes I feel my gut is telling me that you'll probably improve, yet I cannot say for certain. But we can say in the midsection for certain you can improve it. In the neck area, tricky. Rather talk to a doc or a physiotherapist who's working already with kettlebells, who's very educated. Just my gut's telling me yes, but I have to dig deeper into how the spine works, and I want to. So thank you. All good, Gary. Just commenting real time while you were chatting on the original reaction with it. That's fine, Matt. Thank you, man. Dang, commenting is dangerous. Keeping up the good work. In 7 months, work my way up to 16. That's what's up, brother. Awesome. Faith and fitness. I honestly started watching Mark's channel with one crappy kettlebell from Bob Harper's kettlebell DVDs. But watching people who know and can educate me, then that's what I follow now. 52 years. That's what's up, brother. That's great. Captain Howdy, I don't know what was said earlier, but Mark inspired me, and you helped me keep this new love of mine alive. That's where we agree on. That's where this is the common denominating factor, and this is where it shall stand. We both push kettlebells, and we love it. All right, guys. So I think we're almost through. Yeah, somebody says, I believe you have multiple surgeries. Well, I didn't know that. Glad I've added to your knowledge. Yes, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Dialogue for the win. That's what's up. I heard Gregory works part-time for Snickers. Yeah. Definitely a Sugar. I was reading Sugar Hill. Definitely a Sugar Hill. You know the Sugar Hill gang, guys? Yes, my part-time work is for Snickers. Snickers and Mars and Nestle. So I'm selling you, when you buy 90 Days of Kettlebells, I'm sending you a huge bag of sugar. I can't wait. Take it. Love it, man. Totally agree, Gregory. Feedback and criticism is not bad. Trust those who seek truth. Doubt those who find it. Wow. Where did you get that one from? You guys let me copy that stuff. See, I'm always going into these reactions with the idea to learn something, and or just videos in general in the comment section, and it always happens. Gregory, search Trivium, school sucks, and then listen to all the interviews. Odening. Wow. Yeah, I will do it. I'll do it. Do it. Thank you so much, Wellness Path, for me, brother. Hey, Greg, I totally agree with you. Ideas about kettlebell peer review on YouTube, social media. Thank you, Matthias. And sometimes, like I mentioned, I'm saying this for the third time. The DRY, dry, don't repeat yourself, but I got to repeat myself now. At least I'm obviously and consciously repeating myself. I believe I can do better with these reactions. This shall be noted as a remark. I believe I can do better, and I want to do better. And not in the sense of me trying to attack people, because that's never my perspective. Never my perspective to attack, unless I get emotional. Like in the Bob Harper in Biggest Loser, never say never, man. I tried to calm myself down, but when I see people getting hurt, But peer review, listen, in science, it's like a scientist comes up, has a thesis. That's what's, I got to use the right word. I don't know if somebody told me this, Gregory, you got to use the right words. But let's say a scientist comes up and he has this thing, right? Theory or thesis. So he presents it. Then his peers come up and be like, okay, let's replicate what you just said. And then 15 people find out, well, it's impossible to replicate it. And only 2 were able to replicate it. So that means, okay, now we've learned something. We've advanced. You see, from this communication with you guys, I've learned something. It's always good, man. Cole of Snake Dive fame would disagree. If you want to embarrass a PhD, ask them to describe the systematic method of intellectual sentiments that they use on a moment-by-moment basis. They cannot answer, but see value. Dissonance. Gregory, what is that recent podcast you mentioned from Squat University? You mentioned this several times. Yeah, I saw you comment on it. Just type in Squat University and McGill. That's McGill. Just type that in. Squat University, Dr. Stuart McGill, and Eddie Cohn. And you will find it. All right, guys. Olivier, great question. And then we're done. Lately, I've been feeling pretty burned out from training. Any advice? Take a break. Take a break, Olivier. I now am really in that sense of feeling my body, understanding it, and this happens to me sometimes. I get burned out, or some area of my body sending me some signals that I'm like, oof, maybe I'm going too hard. So ask yourself that question, Olivier. When's the last time you took a full week break? That's why you can watch this podcast as well from Squat University and Eddie Cohn and Dr. Stuart McGill. Eddie Cohn said something so valuable that stuck with me. And Eddie Cohn was one of the greatest powerlifters ever. He said, most people lift too heavy for too long. Most people lift too heavy for too long. So maybe, Olivier, take a full week break off, full week off training, come back at it and see how you feel. So that's it, guys. I don't like your speaking style, unsubscribe. It's very sad, but cannot please everybody. The fundamental cause of the trouble is that in the modern world, the stupid are sure while the intelligent are full of doubt. All right. So that's it, guys. My disagreement, John, you can rewatch the video and see it. I know it. What is it? Almost 2 hours long. So now, guys, bada boom, bada bing, bada bam. We went through the comments. Thank you so much for sharing your views and your ideas. We are done. We are done. We're done. We're done. But before I go, I want to tell you guys, 90 Days of Kettlebells is our kettlebell workout program. Combines kettlebell training with simple and easy to follow nutrition coaching. It's still live. A powerful tool that'll give you everything you need to really find your way as a beginner to a more advanced training. In the course of about 3 months, it's combined with nutrition coaching because that's what we do in real life. You build some easy nutrition, solid but easy nutrition habits that you can build, because I believe in habits. I don't believe in meal plans. I believe in powerful eating habits that can change your life for the better in long term. You get 120 plus lessons, continuous support, free updates. That's what's up. So if you're interested, check out the link in the live chat. You see the message is pinned there. And what you got, guys, Kettle Nights Podcast, you got the exclusive access. You got every workout that we do live on our YouTube channel. It is downloaded and then strictly put into 90 Days of Kettlebells, guys. And it's now 10% off. 87 Swiss francs and 30 Rappen. That's 94.5 US dollars. And you can use the link in the description in the chat right now for 10% off. The coupon is attached to it. So if you click on it, the first step that you do is you create a new account, and then the second step that you take is you can complete your purchase, and you purchase with credit card or PayPal. So guys, I think I did it, and I have served you. I hope I've served you well with this. Mark was requested so many times, and now I think we did it with this huge reaction and a conversation. And thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you for being a part of this Lebe journey. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Even if you've unsubscribed, we can't please everybody. And it's sometimes even good, guys. Yup, Gypsy. It is sometimes even good to start following somebody or something and then find out this is not meant for me. I just recently talked about this and somebody told me this. It was like, whoa, listen, man. Sometimes you got to turn off your screen. Sometimes you got to unsubscribe, unfollow, turn off the stuff, throw away. I mean, there's so much content out there. Sometimes you got to take a break and maybe find out this is what works for me. This is what doesn't work for me. In my case, not everything works for me, so I have to disengage. But sometimes I still enjoy the content, and sometimes like, no, that's not for me. So that's totally fine. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Have a good night. And thank you for being so patient with me. And thank you for sharing your beautiful knowledge in the chat. Peace out. Welcome to 90 Days of Kettlebells. 90 Days of Kettlebells is a kettlebell workout program that combines kettlebell training with simple and easy to follow nutrition coaching. It is designed for beginners who want to train with kettlebells, profit from a proven nutrition coaching system to get in shape and lose weight. This program is made for you if you are a responsible and diligent person who wants to discover the potential of the kettlebell and improve your eating habits to lose weight, get in shape, and become a lean, mean machine. This program is not for people who are looking for the magic bullet, an easy way out, a cookie cutter meal plan system, or a genie in the bottle. This program requires some diligent and hard work, and it's made for you if you are ready for it. We combine the best of both worlds in this program. The kettlebell, with its vast array of benefits that range from fat burning to muscle building while being easy on the joints, and scientific-based nutrition coaching that helps you build new eating habits that help you make better decisions, even after the expert left the room. We have been certified by kettlebell legend Steve Cotter himself personally in our gym in both the IKFF Kettlebell Coach certificates. We have also been certified by the world-leading and scientifically based nutrition experts Precision Nutrition as a level 1 and level 2 nutrition coach. This is actually what we do with our clients in real life on a daily basis. All the experience from the last 5 years that we have been able to gather is now put into this course. Now the program works as follows. You will do 3 kettlebell workouts per week designed for beginners in mind that gradually increase in difficulty. You will build 3 powerful eating habits that have proven successful in our nutrition coaching. The program lasts 12 weeks and will teach you the ins and outs of kettlebell training as well as building powerful nutrition habits. All this is accessible in our revolutionary e-learning platform that is part of the Livechat Academy. In the bonus content, you will get access to 30 Days of Kettlebells. That's actually another full-blown workout course. This is actually also the predecessor of 90 Days of Kettlebells. You will get 5 additional workouts, a 3.5-hour seminar with Steve Cotter where he certified us in June 2019, and this seminar alone is worth over $700 if you would do it with Steve in person. You will also get a 2-hour interview with 11-time kettlebell world champion Denis Vasilev. You get a 1-hour video where we cover all the necessary exercises that you will need to do this program, and we will take you through it step by step. Another part of the bonus content is a video where we will teach you all the necessary mobility and warm-up routines so that your joints are ready to tackle the workouts. We actually offer this type of coaching in real life, and we call it the Fat Burner Package, where we offer 3 personal trainings per week with additional nutrition coaching along the way. All of the experience from this high-intensity coaching is now densely packed into this workout course called 90 Days of Kettlebells for 97 Swiss francs, and that's exactly $105 US. Click on the link below, either in the description or as a big blue button, and start your kettlebell journey now. 90 Days of Kettlebells is waiting for you to help you get in shape of your life for the rest of your life.